And now we move into the fan favorite portion of the show. This Week in History, trivia style. Now, my dashboard there is popping up and down on how many viewers that I have. And it went to 0 even though there were comments being made, which is strange. But I don't know who's watching right now. And the last I knew, it was at least James, Jessica, and Robert. But much like last week, whether you're watching it live or you're watching this in the future, I'm just going to roll through these. I will give a reasonable amount of time for anyone that's watching to play along. And if they get a chance, they get a chance. If they don't, they don't. It's not on me, okay? I read the question, I give you the multiple choice answers, and it is your job to answer them, whether it be now or in the future. If there's a lot of participation, you're going to crush it this week, he says. If there's a lot of participation, I will hold off giving my answers because I don't want you to cheat and just agree with me. Question number 1. In 1971, what famous concert for Bangladesh became the first major benefit concert? 1971, what famous concert for Bangladesh became the first major benefit concert? Was it Piece Together, the Concert for Bangladesh, Live Aid, or Farm Aid? Those are your 4 multiple choice options. Again, the questions are set to medium difficulty. In 1971, what famous concert for Bangladesh became the first major benefit concert? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Jessica. I don't know why, and I'm sorry. I'm looking at live. I could see that I'm live. I don't know why your live isn't loading. Okay, again, 1971, famous concert for Bangladesh became the first major benefit concert. Was it Piece Together, the Concert for Bangladesh, Live Aid, or Farm Aid? I have my answer. I am writing my answer down. I am not going to share my answer with you until later. Robert says Bangladesh. He could be right. He could be wrong. Question number 2. Which American astronaut became the first person to drive a rover on the moon during this week in history? Which American astronaut became the first person to drive a rover on the moon during this week in history? Was it Neil Armstrong, David Scott, Alan Shepard, or Gene Cernan? This one, you got to think about this for a second. What do we know about the first people to land on the moon? A giant leap for man, one step for man, giant leap for mankind, right? We know that. We see them bouncing around. Maybe they played some golf. Did they bring the rover with them on the first mission? Did landing on the moon and getting out of the vehicle and then getting home safely, was that the priority, or was it, was it driving a rover on the moon? I personally don't think they took a rover on the first mission. I think the first mission was complicated enough. Go 250,000 miles in that direction, land, get back up in the air, and come back. I think that was the first mission. So I don't think it was Armstrong or Shepard. So that leaves me with Scott or Cernan. And because I know a David Scott, I'm putting that down as my answer. I say that because I don't, like the first one, I'm pretty, Cernan. Robert's going to go with Gene. Answer D. Okay. Question number 3. In 1790, which U.S. city officially became the nation's first capital under the new Constitution? Now, 1790 is not 250 years ago. It's a little less than 250 years ago. But in 1790, the capital of the United States of America was not Washington, D.C. Where was it? Here are your options. Was it Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore, or Boston? In 1790, what U.S. city became the nation's first capital under the new Constitution? Was it Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore, or Boston? My answer is that. You can answer now or in the future. Question number 4. What famous mystery author disappeared for 11 days during This Week in History? What famous mystery author disappeared for 11 days? I don't like that this week it gave me this stupid during This Week in History. I don't like that. And I will tell it such later. What famous mystery author disappeared for 11 days? Was it Dorothy Sayers? Famous mystery author. Agatha Christie, Mary Higgins Clark, or Sue Grafton? Mel Brooks is a hilarious answer. Robert answers the previous question with Philly. Not a bad guess. I have a good idea who the famous author that went missing for 11 days is, and I'm going to put my answer down there. I will read you mine at the end. Your choices are Dorothy Sayers, Agatha Christie, Mary Higgins Clark, or Sue Grafton. Which famous mystery author disappeared for 11 days? Question number 5. What company introduced the first practical home air conditioner during... Nope, just there. Just leave it there. What company introduced the first practical home air conditioner? Was it General Electric, Carrier, Westinghouse, or Frigidaire? What company introduced the first practical home air conditioner? Carrier, General Electric, Westinghouse, or Frigidaire? Robert's answer to the previous question is Agatha Christie, even though he spelled it like Christy the Clown, which is funny, if you ask me. I have my answer for this question. I believe it to be. I am doubting myself, but I'm still going to go with this. Because I also want to go 7 for 7. I want to get 7 questions correct. Because it makes me happy. Question number 6. In 1981, MTV launched what was the first music video? This one, Robert's going to go with Carrier on the previous question. This one is so well known that I'm not going to give you your multiple choice options. It's 1981. MTV goes live. What is the first video they play? I can't stop thinking about the song in my head because I know the answer. I'm not going to tell you the answer. I'm not even going to tell you the options that you have available. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the 3 options that are the wrong answer. I'm going to let you see Take On Me by Aha, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, and Hotel California by the Eagles were the 3 incorrect answers that AI provided in the multiple choice options. But the correct answer, I'm not giving you. Either you know it or you don't know it. But it was the very first video played by Music Television. Either you know it or you don't. And finally, question number 7. What famous bridge, a famous bridge you say, officially opened this week in 1937? What famous bridge opened in 1937? Was it the Brooklyn, the Mackinac? I think it's pronounced Mackinac. My friend Beer Snob Dave would let me know. Mackinac. I think it's pronounced Mackinac. Brooklyn, Mackinac, Golden Gate, or the Chesapeake Bay Bridge? Robert guesses like a virgin on the previous question. Wrong. So wrong. You wrong. So wrong. Again, what famous bridge opened up in 1937? Was it the Brooklyn Bridge, the Mackinac, the Golden Gate, or the Chesapeake Bay Bridge? My answer is going to be this one. Robert is going to go with the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Okay. I don't believe that is correct. I type in the word answers, please. Now, I'm going to quickly go back and let you know what my answers were, as it gives me the answers for the questions. I chose fruit pie. All right, for, sometimes the answer is in the question. For the very first question, I chose the concert for Bangladesh because it was for Bangladesh. That was why I reasoned that. Question 2, I chose David Scott because I know a David Scott and I like him. Question 3, I chose Philadelphia because it's right around the corner. Question 4, Agatha Christie. Question 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went with General Electric. I don't know about that one. I don't know about the other ones either. 1981, MTV launched Video Killed the Radio Star. That was their very first video that they played. And I chose Golden Gate Bridge, opening in 1937. Why? Because it's famous. Mackinac, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, because it's a bridge and a tunnel. It goes up and it goes down. I hate that place. I hate the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, although it does save you a ton of driving around. Golden Gate or Brooklyn were the options, and I'm pretty sure Brooklyn was in place long before 1937. That's why I chose the Golden Gate Bridge. Here we go with the answers. Answer number 1 was the concert for Bangladesh. Ding, ding, ding. I mean, literally, it was in the question. Question number 2, David Scott. Ha ha ha! My reasoning worked out well. Plus, I know someone named David Scott, so that was great. Question number 3, New York City. 1790, the capital of the United States of America was New York City. I should have known that. Should have known that, but my proximity to Philadelphia made me want to choose Philadelphia. It served as the first capital under the Constitution before the government moved to Philadelphia and then later to Washington, D.C. Thank you for that little add-on there. Question number 4 was, in fact, Agatha Christie. Her disappearance began in early December 1926 and is one of history's great literary mysteries. She took 11 days off in 1926. She didn't have a cell phone. She just took some time off. But she disappeared for 11 days because that makes better copyright, I guess. I hate you. What government agency was established? No, that wasn't even. What company introduced the first practical air conditioner during this week in history? The company best known for making practical home air conditioners was, in fact, Carrier. And I chose incorrectly. Disappointment! So much disappointment. And finally, no, not finally. Question number 6. Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. True, that's what it was. That was the song that was the very first video played on music television. And finally, the famous bridge opened up in 1937 was not the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel system, as Robert would think. It was, in fact, the Gate of Golden, the Golden Gate Bridge, opened in 1937. So 6 out of 7. Carrier. No, 5 out of 7. I got Carrier, and I also got New York City wrong. But again, question number 2, they didn't put a buggy on the moon until Apollo 15. So the first time we landed on the moon was Apollo 11. So it was 4 missions later before they said, you know what would be cool? If we brought a car with us. That'd be cool. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up. This has been The Supplemental, an addition, an add-on, an addendum to your regularly scheduled Lunsby show. And a new taping of that begins soon. So I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Bruce sends her love, Lunsby.